Hello everybody and welcome to Parks Bros. It is Drew here, and we have gotten word that some of the Calico River Rapids details have finally been released. So if you did not know, Calico River Rapids is the brand new ride or revamping of Bigfoot Rapids at Knott's Berry Farm that will be opening up later in this year. Now, most of this ride has been shrouded in mystery except for 4 separate concept images that we've seen over the past 6 months or so. Now, these images don't show too much, but they have given us at least subtle clues about what could potentially be happening on ride, and has made us really question what could really be happening on the ride itself. But we do have this new article released by the Orange County Register talking about what will be happening on the ride itself, and what potential animatronics or animals we will be running into on this daring journey. But first, let's talk about the background of the story of this ride just a little bit. And it seems that this ride and this area of the park will actually be set 20 years before the rest of Calico Ghost Town. So Calico takes place in the late 1880s. This ride and area will now be put in the 1860s/1870s, when they were first starting to settle in this brand new territory off in the Sierra wilderness. But you will be on an expedition along with the Calico Mining Company as well as the Timber Mountain Lumber Company in search for new timber opportunities as well as some possible gold strikes. Now, Knott's wanted to tie this ride back into history a little bit, so they actually have the story, including 2 explorers that ended up helping out Lewis and Clark on their treacherous journey across the United States, and that is Potts and Coulter. They helped navigate all the way over to the Oregon Territory at the time and have seemed to have settled in this new Calico River territory. But I am honestly already loving the direction they are taking this ride, and the park has said that they are taking a lot of inspiration from original Imagineer Mark Davis, who was a key figure in the creation of things like the Jungle Cruise, the Haunted Mansion, and even It's a Small World. And I honestly think he is an amazing inspiration for a ride like this, specifically talking about Jungle Cruise when talking about an unclaimed territory that is still kind of wild. But enough talking about the backstory and history of the ride. Let's go on to what the ride will actually feature. So immediately as you exit the station, you will end up going underneath a wooden sluice and might be welcomed by a friendly woodpecker that is starting to eat away at it. It seems like the woodpecker has had a lengthy stay in that area because most of the trees have had at least a bite or 2 taken out of them. And don't be surprised if some sap comes squirting out of one of those bites. Then soon you might find yourself in a little bit of peril, running into a couple of rattlesnakes as well as wolves on your rough, rapid journey. Soon you will go underneath a bridge and travel past a hunter's cabin that actually has some bullet holes in it. And this definitely seems to be the cabin that we were shown in one of the original pieces of concept art that we saw back in November. Soon you will come across a raccoon that's actually wearing a coonskin cap, and it looks to be he might be confused about his new love interest. Soon you will come across a baby bear that is seeming to play a game of whack-a-mole with some prairie dogs. And don't be surprised if you see 1 or 2 prairie dogs with some flowers on their heads. Of course, though, if a baby bear is around, mama bear is going to be right around the corner, and she's actually going to be reaching for some salmon for a nice, tasty meal. But soon after that, you will actually be passing under another sluice, so don't be surprised if you get extra wet there. You will soon come across a small chicken coop with some foxes struggling to get inside. Then you will come across the Potts and Coulter cabin, where the famous explorers have ended up settling. But right past their cabin is a mountain lion that will definitely be keeping a close eye on you. But soon after passing some more rapids and possibly a waterfall, you'll come across some dynamite. Now, the dynamite is controlled by plunger boxes that other guests that aren't riding the ride can control. But be wary. The dynamite seems to backfire on the plunger boxes sometimes. So don't be surprised if the dynamite ends up getting both the riders and the pranksters. Soon after passing some of the beginnings of a mining expedition, you will run into a cave where you will hear some scary sounds and you might see some glowing eyes. Has the Bigfoot finally returned to Knott? You'll just have to wait until you ride, I guess. But after finding out all of these details, I am super excited for what is to come for this ride in the next couple months, especially after hearing that description of the entirety of the ride. There is definitely going to be more surprises along the way, but after really truthfully hearing about what is going on during the ride itself, I am very, very excited to be able to experience this attraction when it first opens. So definitely let me know what you're most excited about during the ride itself down in the comments below. I personally think I'm going to be very excited for the finale, but we'll just have to wait and see how many people get soaked trying to use the plunger boxes, because that seems like a lot of fun. And I must say, I applaud Knott for all of the things that they're putting into this ride that was honestly kind of lacking for almost 30 years. It was called Bigfoot Rapids, and it never had a Bigfoot. It might have had some footprints, but that was about it. So it'll be nice to actually see at least some glowing eyes in the cave, but also an abundance of animatronics around the entire layout. But make sure to stay tuned to Parks Bros right here and subscribe if you'd like to see more Calico River Rapids construction updates in the near future, as well as opening day coverage for the ride when it finally opens and has a release date. But of course, as always, I've been Drew, and we'll see you on the next ride.